Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our Global TV Deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it pick a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rub and cheat, and not press the poor. Make up what I seen to. Make him a throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make him a throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite man, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the them can sell out Rasta and sell it out and sell out Babylon. Big man show one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Big man show one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead can sell out Rasta and sell out, I sell out Babylon. Yes, stop on the Friday. You might throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black big man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one, big man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked man throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rasta man throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
Stevie dim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no keep, and some informer friend we love like we in Global. Bonafide friend and Bonative, we in Global. We not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek come here represent for we in Global TV. Check it.
Flight Green said nothing Augusto. But how have you not, though, provided the information to the Auditor General that would certify where the 54 million for the 11,000 bags of fertilizer is? But Flight Green and rather refute the findings. Good evening and welcome. Thank you for joining us. To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewer subscribers, commenters, and trolls, good evening and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Matthew Samuda said also, we at the Shitty Water Station is under no duty legally, they said, to report to KSMC. So, we allow unto ourselves, said this government. Because a lie everybody I tell power, people are walking carry news and a mix way up and a spread propaganda power. Nothing just don't go so. You might want to ask the government, how come them can prove how it go? Everything when come out and say it not go so. How come you can't provide the proof up till now of how it go? Is my question to the government tonight. How it go? Debbie Jarvis TV, good evening and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Beat and Teach, good evening, welcome. Who else there? Good evening, everyone. Rebel with a cause, good evening, Barbara Simpson, good evening. Good evening, Rosemary Samuels, Sharon Bernard. Good evening, Andrea Joan Hamilton Wilson. Good evening and welcome. Gloria Morris, good evening. Jamrock 8766, Michelle Lewis Wilson. Ainsworth Williams, Monica Wills, Yvonne Johnson. Good evening. Fitzroy Nugent. Good evening, Sophia Hall. Canadian Girl, good evening. Don Fox. Good evening and welcome. Who is on the tick? Debbie Jarvis TV, Dr. Mario, Richard B, Dulcie, Mumi, is it Mumita? Natalie, Patrick, Vuma, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Global TV. Thank you for joining us this evening. Flight Green say, I know we, and I know so. But that's what I told you this morning. Pamela Monroe Ellis, a PMP, though. Because once you don't play this government game, you're automatically a PNP. And so far, if we stand up for good governance, integrity, justice, and all of that, and that makes us PNP, then Prime Minister, you can count me in. Nifty friend, good evening. Count me in, Prime Minister. If that is what makes one PNP, then certainly I'm willing to join the queue out here, because I'm one that stands up for justice. I'm one that calls out corruption. I'm one that stands up against the pilfering of the public purse. Nelson, good evening. Particularly by your government and personally by yourself, Prime Minister. And anybody calling out automatically turn PNP. So G. Wayne. If that's what PNP means, then I'm sure many of us would happy to be PNP because Lord God Prime Minister, if we favor go turn Buster right in the country pan you, if everybody figure lump up on the Buster right side, you don't know how the country would have fear it off, you know. Because if you one with 3 woman grow teeth so, but then again, you know, you tree mother grow you can grow very disturbed, even though you say tree mother grow you, because you can teeth sugar from that one and then you have to run away guard in the other one. And when you reach the other one, your teeth ice cement, and you have to run guard the other one, your teeth crackers, and you keep going in circles. So I don't know what upbringing the Prime Minister have. Beverly Forbes. Don't know what upbringing the Prime Minister have, but the Prime Minister said 3 wood medals bring him up. And with a thing to say, if a 3 woman bring you up, 3 mother you wouldn't have brought up, see. But me not see that brought up, see the rub off on your Prime Minister. Because you can barely answer a question, be toten, you get angry. And while me see in a center mass today, I do the jiggerine and the rigmarole, and you me particular come to this evening. We're going to talk to Blind Aga in a bit, but you may come to Prime Minister with your legislative wheel. Shauna Smith, how you do? Estina time. Prime Minister with the legislative wheel. I want you to advance, Prime Minister, a safeguarding policy for children in our country. Why am I bothered, Prime Minister? We live in a country where even this evening I forgot to record that, but me hear Isaac Buchanan name out the whole heap of 9 and 11-year-olds, Prime Minister, in our country that has been raped and murdered. There is one currently. Safeguarding policy, Prime Minister. Because you see, pedophilia, sexual predatory, Prime Minister, is not written in one's face or on one's shirt. Thereby, in a society like this that we live, there ought to be preventative measures, Prime Minister, to protect the vulnerable. Are you able to get to what I'm working out yet, Prime Minister? In case you're unaware, the baby sitting in your lap, Prime Minister. The baby, Prime Minister, sitting in your lap. There ought to be safeguarding policies to prevent that. Or children shouldn't just be sitting on anybody's lap like that. Safeguarding policy prevents that in this country. Jamaica is a more pedophilia-infested country than Britain. You may not believe so, but it's the actual truth. When you always go to school and hug up and wallow up with the children, them safeguarding policy need to be in place to protect children from what might be sexual predators that we don't know that get off and being touchy-feely with children and having children in their bloody laps, like the Prime Minister did today in St. Thomas. Prime Minister, it's inappropriate. It is wholly, Prime Minister, inappropriate. And as a leader of the country, you ought to make sure safeguarding policy is in place to protect our vulnerable children. The pedophile protecting radio station across the street, remember they say government not on a share and part in the failure that caused Kelsey's demise. But we elect government to serve. And we are saying we want our children to be protected. Nationwide, the pedophile protecting radio station don't see it like that. Children shouldn't be just sitting on anybody's lap. You don't know who's a pedophile. You don't know who is a predator. This is why we need to have child protection, safeguarding laws, and the nation be educated as to how safeguarding works in safeguarding our children, how you have contact with children under these safeguarding policies. You can look to other countries who have those policies. You're under the Westminster democracy. You always look to the Westminster democracy for a thing that's not so familiar to us, or that we are not, or that we have not got in practice. Look to the Westminster democracy and see how the whole safeguarding is put in place here for vulnerable children and vulnerable adults. It don't look good, Prime Minister. And on a regularly want to stop it. Stop it. Stop hug up and feel up and throw these children in your laps. Parents, stop be frightened of politicians. And don't think the politicians are not predatory pedophiles. They normally are. They normally are. Protect your children from them. Yes, it is wrong, Mikey. Mikey, if you support it, you'd just take up anybody little data and put on your lap. It is wrong. You would have want to see any man take up a little data, put on him lap. It is wrong, Mikey. Do you know who is a pedophile? Do you know if the person that have your little data in him lap have a hard on while your data is sitting down? What the fuck is wrong with other people? Are people like molest children, you know? Don't protect children. It is wrong. It is inappropriate. In the society and the world that we live in, it is wrong. It is inappropriate. The Prime Minister for top look vote for vulnerable people. Him for stop it. I mean, if I talk about the vote looking, where I look now, I talk about the baby where the Prime Minister having in lap. I don't know the situation of the Prime Minister lap, Mikey. Hit me a talk about a late night in England, don't make me shout. Mikey, I don't want to shout. I have neighbors. You should have tackled me in a day. Mikey, I should have in a day. You can't tackle me. I can answer you properly. Because some of the Jamaican man don't have no shame. Some man don't have no morals. You would like to see your daughter sit down in a one big man lap, and you don't know who that big man is. Not even your brother and cousin, you shouldn't allow your little baby to sit down in a their lap. So we live in a different world. We live in a world where people don't have soul anymore. We live in a world where people don't have family values anymore. Mikey. Would you put your baby in a stranger's lap? The Prime Minister is a stranger. The Prime Minister is a stranger. Would you put your baby in a stranger's lap? So they don't protect your children. If it's all right for any man take up your baby, put in a their lap, we don't protect on the children then. So what? Because it's a prime minister, he can't be a pedophile? Is that what you're saying? Is it because it's a prime minister, there's no likelihood of him being a pedophile? If it's not what you're saying. The baby enough to sit down in her lap. The whole issue of safeguarding Mikey, if you don't understand it. Just in case the prime minister is a pedophile, and if the prime minister is having the baby sitting on his lap, the prime minister can be getting his instant gratification from that. The child is being abused, Mikey. So the safeguarding policy, which prevents the child from sitting in the prime minister's lap, would prevent the child from experiencing the abuse and then the trauma, you piece of bullshit. I should tackle this program in the morning, Mikey, where I can go on a rant and rave at you. Because don't notice some of them are pedophiles who don't always run out to defend certain things. And when it comes to defending justice for abused children who are nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. I don't know if Andrew Holness is a pedophile. The child shouldn't be sitting in the prime minister's lap. I don't know if the prime minister is getting any gratification from the child sitting in his lap. All I'm concerned about is protecting the child from whether the prime minister or any other man to throw a child in their lap to get whatever gratification they get from it. What is your problem with that? Do you have a problem with it? I don't know if the prime minister is a so-and-so, but my interest is protecting the child. The child should have never been in his lap in the first place. Therefore, if he's a pedophile, he would just have to look on, but not getting that particular gratification of having a little girl in his lap. It is inappropriate. It is wrong. And he should know better. We live in a country where 9 and 11-year-old girls are raped and murdered. Do you all have to defend bullshit all the time? Do you get gratification from defending bullshit? Can you look at the other side of the coin and see that it's a different picture on the other side, even though it's the same coin? You backward dunce. Sometimes when I just come with some, I could take a hammer to you. But that's for another day. But the prime minister should not have people picnic on him lap. What if I take one of the prime minister big son and put it on my lap? What do you think you would say? And if you think it would be weird for me to have one of the prime minister's sons sitting in my lap, how would you think then seeing a little girl sitting in the prime minister's lap? When the prime minister's son have the choice to say, no, I don't want to sit into your lap, but that little girl might not have the choice to say, I don't want to sit into the prime minister's lap. What is your problem? Is common sense too uncommon for you to, even adapt some of it? Do you understand what preventative measure means? It means if the man is a pedophile, the child don't get so close to him anyway to get into his lap, because that safeguarding policy would protect the child from going that close to a pedophile is what we're talking about. Not that he's a prime minister and it's okay for a child to sit in his lap. Who is he? Do we know him? He's a thief. He couldn't be a pedophile. We didn't know he was a thief until he started stealing. Did we? Well, in open urban center today, in open tree house, in a St. Thomas today, and in care a whole big old green crowd, about a handful. But crowd, if you go to house opening, if you go to house handing over, What a disgraceful piece of shit that this prime minister is. That's when you use taxpayer money to give poor people a dwelling. You have to creep up camera, Labour supporters in a green shirt, drunk, ribbon, balloon, and table. If the prime minister gets the gratification out of that, what would stop the prime minister from being gratified with a little girl sitting on his lap? Answer the question, Mikey. The prime minister seemed to get gratification out of cutting ribbon. This is a little girl we're talking about. And you think something is wrong with me asking the question what a little girl is doing on the prime minister of the country's lap? If you ever see Keir Starmer pick up a little girl and put in her lap, sit down in her lap in this, you never hear the last of it. If Keir Starmer do this in England, you would never hear the last of it. It would go to the hills and come back. Prime Minister, have like a decorum in yourself. Stop walking and touch up people like a girl, Prime Minister. Prime Minister, stop walking and touch up people like a baby. Even if you give them one house out of taxpayer money, Prime Minister, stop walking and feel up picking like people like a girl and the people like a baby just to sign over one key to them out of taxpayers' money. That is feeling up and touching up, Prime Minister. That is inappropriate, Prime Minister. For you take up a little baby, put on your lap, you big man, and we don't know what gratification you get from it. It's inappropriate. You shouldn't have done it. Uno do it regular. Mr. Uno go to school, go hug them up. Uno should not do it. It's grooming, Prime Minister. Grooming. That is what it is. And a phone no picking it. If me take up one of your big boy right here now, put on my lap, the world never know where it up. Thanks, Del. If me forgot to take up one of your big boy right now, Prime Minister, and put in my lap, it would be a social media provider. So if it would be inappropriate for me to pick up the Prime Minister big son and put it on my lap, why it's not inappropriate for the Prime Minister to pick up somebody else little girl and put it in her lap? I don't know what the Prime Minister's intentions are. I don't know what the Prime Minister's feelings are, what the Prime Minister is getting out of it. Thanks, the Unstoppable One. Thank you. It's inappropriate. It must not happen. I see a lot of them labor right politicians go to school and do it. Protect with children. And the schools must wake up by now. Dana Morris Dixon, you claim to be very modern. Faval was an old annual out there sitting on a tree limb. Don't know if the tree limb break, all know or what. But you claim to be modern. You would have understand what the safeguarding policies are and what they mean and why, Miss Morris Dixon, it's important to have them in place, especially in our society. You remember the other day, it was just the other day, there was a teacher with that little girl with that womb shifting situation and all of that happened. So there ought to be these policies within school to even protect our children from predatory teachers. Not just the predatory Prime Minister or the pedophile Minister of Justice. If Delroy Chuck is not pedophile, then why is Delroy Chuck protecting them? One might want to ask. Dr. Blainaga. Dr. Blainaga. Dr. Blainaga. A whole heap of Tegerege unleash pan we, Even though Andrew say, when we see the gunman them a come, all up with Anna and say, I've got productive, I'm useful and I'm productive. That's what we say, Prime Minister. So we're useful and productive when we see your gunman them a come. You look like the Prime Minister saying, if you tell the gunman them, say, when the uniform gunman them, not any gunman, we're talking about the uniform gunman. The Prime Minister said, if you tell them, so we're productive.
Let the gunmen and those who are involved in all the other kinds of crimes that are being committed in the country understand we don't want to kill you. That's not what we want. What we want to do is to prevent you, deter you from getting involved in crime. Because you are more valuable to the society, alive, educated, part of the workforce, good, upstanding citizens. That is what we want for you. We have created the option. The same scammer can become a cybersecurity expert.
Where the bullshit gone? The same scammer can become a cybersecurity expert. That is true, Prime Minister. But have you put all the necessaries in place to deter them? Minimum wage, as it is now, in a Prime Minister cannot deter criminal. Oh, Jarrett, you're back. How are you, Everton Jarrett? Have you seen your pedophile Prime Minister with the people baby on his lap? Do you think it's appropriate for the Prime Minister to have a little girl sitting in his lap? Or on the controversy, do you think it would be appropriate for me to pick up the Prime Minister's son and put him in my lap to sit down? Just a thought. Jarrett, do you think it would be an appropriate thing for me to pick up the Prime Minister's son and put him in my lap? What do you think? Social media would have probably broke down. But you all think it's okay for the Prime Minister to have a little girl, a little baby sitting in his lap. And I'm not sure if the Prime Minister is getting any gratification from it, or that's the pure reason for the Prime Minister to pick up a baby and put in his lap. No criminal Prime Minister. Dr. Blainaga, them something we unleash pan we, sir. I mean, we don't know how to escape them. But there's a reason, though, why you don't want body cam. But more and more Jamaicans going to have to secure themselves. We're not going to have to walk with body cam, Jamaicans. And we're going to have to CCTV on the entire dwelling, because government and England seem to be able to walk in and walk out when they want, whether you're dead or you're not dead. I don't understand where this be, but it look very serious. Where police are breaking up people's house in their uniform for a reason me no know. This not safe in Jamaica. TikTok, I've posted that video on the channel that you are on. You can watch it later when the live is finished. But we don't safe because police can break in and enter in a uniform. Now, in a country where law enforcers have become the criminal, it's down to the people to provide their own protection mechanism. In a country where law enforcers have become the major criminals, we must take our own security into our own hands. Are they really police? Because in Jamaica, we don't know what police and who no police, you know. Are they really police? Because anybody can even buy uniform from the police force the way all they're hungry and corrupt. But isn't this something worrying? Isn't this something that is worrying? So JCF can just turn up and make them way in a yard by picking lock or whatever. And a warrant they use and break down the door, you know. This is more of an espionage type of behavior. Andrew Holness is running espionage on the people of Jamaica because police can make their way into your house while you're not at home. Isn't this espionage work? Isn't this serious? But let's go to Shitty Water, Matthew. We're going to look at what Swaby says. And then Matthew Samuda said they're not legally bound to report to KCMC. So he don't know what Swaby is talking about because they are a law. Because they, the labor rights, are a law unto themselves. You think to say sabotaging the People's National Party is going to help you to win the election. Continue on, Andrew. The more you do, the worse it be for you, Andrew Holness.
Councillors, as some of you may have heard, a report aired recently on one radio station claiming that the KCMC hosts the National Water Commission approximately $150 million in outstanding bills tied to multiple KCMC properties. Let me first be clear. This is not a debt that started under this administration. We inherited an outstanding balance when we took office last year. Since the claim came to my attention, I have directed the CEO to establish a team to properly investigate the claim. This team will engage the National Water Commission directly to verify the accuracy of the figures, and where that is confirmed, agreed on a structured plan to resolve it. Preliminary investigation into this matter revealed that 138 million of the 151 million is attributed to a property on Pichon Street, operated by the KCMC. The KCMC has a private arrangement and has been trucking water to this facility for over 5 years. But let me also say this. It is quite interesting that this matter only came to light after raised concerns in this council about the accuracy and transparency of water quality data provided by NWC just a week ago. Prior to that, during my first 100-day listening tour, we engaged openly with...
Everton Jarrett, you want my hard crackers? You must want something to chew and make your son so bored.
Stakeholders, including the National Water Commission, in frank discussions. At no time was any mention made of outstanding debt. Not a word. However, since the council passed a resolution on the matter of water quality, the NWC has not attended the Public Health and Sanitation Committee meetings and has since formally indicated that they will no longer be providing water quality results to the corporation.
What?
Okay, Kingston and St. Andrew people, and now not go drink water shit because the government saying don't under no legal duty to provide you the shit water data anymore. So, all if a brand new set of shit come, because you know shit have different strain, because COVID have different strain, so shit must have different strain of it. And this, may hear the whole on I take set pan Alice and the shitty crab and the shit bucket. But the whole on not concerned about the shit water, the same shit water with the government serving up. I mean, nobody a quarrel about it. But everybody a quarrel about for Alice boil shit. Everybody a quarrel about for Alice boil shit. But the government a go no fresh one for drink. I mean, I hear nobody with no uproar about it. Everybody may say everybody come out of the video upon Alice. I mean, see nobody a talk about the shitty water where the whole of Kingston and St. Andrew drink. Everybody going like Alice one shit infested in a Kingston. I hear the government I tell you, say, I'm under no duty to share the data. So really the water shitty, yes or no? We're not going to know next time because PNP, KSMC chat too much. Imagine the amount of shit on the drink and the feather. That on the fair axe.
No, I'm not making any accusation. But I do believe it's worth asking whether this sudden public focus on the KCMC alleged debt is purely coincidental. Let me emphasize, we are not running from our responsibilities. That is the reason why this administration has been actively stepping up our own revenue collection efforts to recover funds owed to us so that we can in turn pay our bills and fulfill our responsibilities to the people of Kingston St. Andrew.
So in response to that, Matthew Samuda said, we are under no legal obligation to give you the water data. So if the water becomes further contaminated, you, the people, won't know. You just have to gulp it down and get on with it. I mean, you never hear Tufton Department come out where they come tell you, say, there's no requirement to boil the water. You never hear when Tufton said that? Them so not too much strong. Them so not become immune to the instant thing there. So they don't have to do any more of it. But I want to ask Floyd Green. I don't think under your bed, in your jar, or in your pocket, Miss Ellis come and find out so you can give an account for the 54 million. There is a process, Floyd Green, where you would have to make certain submission of all your documentation to the Auditor General. And then she would do her certification. So if it is Mr. Green that she had to put out to the public that 54 million 11,000 bag of fertilizer, valid 54 million, is unaccounted for or untraceable, Mr. Green, it would be then that you haven't provided the requisite information in order for her to make the certification that you, Mr. Green, would be more satisfied with. So if it no go so, Mr. Green, if it don't go so, who is under duty to provide to Pamela Monroe Ellis how the 11,000 bags of fertilizer go? Were they in there? Who get them? Who were they distributed to? How much kickbacks did you get out of it? We saw Marissa Dalrymple Filbert, the criminal, the thief, the other day, selling potato, rather potato. If Marissa Dalrymple Filbert can be selling rather potato, wouldn't then be a proper thing to say that Marissa Dalrymple Filbert is possible in the heist of the fertilizer raid? The Moroccan fertilizer. Moroccan fertilizer. You know, there are several international players that mean well for the people of Jamaica and have made good donation to assist the people of Jamaica in various different situations. One, namely, was COVID and the lockdown. And we remember in Burial as well, Banana Catastrophe Fund and all the others. You know the money with Andrew take and gamble in an SSL. But whenever time any international player donate anything to our country, we've never seen it. Andrew Holness collected millions in Jamaican dollar, billions for COVID furlough grants. A few Jamaicans got a $10,000 grants, quite a few, in alphabetical order, if you remember. And we never hear gunfire about it. But during that time, little did you know, Andrew Holness, Christopher Tufton, and a lot of these people became multi-millionaire while we were locked down. They were multi-millionaire in it. While we were locked down, they were multi-millionaire in it. The all of them turned multi-million in a COVID because Europe send money, America send, Britain send, China and India, and everybody just said because it's Jamaica. Did you get any Jamaica people? Aren't you still hungry? Aren't you still reeling from the distress of COVID? We mash up on a small business, Jamaica people, while the cruise ship people, them and the hoteliers can get on with anything that violates the whether wicked act that it named the DRNA bullshit. You remember that dictatorship that Andrew Holness unleashed on us? You remember how the police abuse us? You remember how this government put fines on us? $1 million. Some people pay $1 million plus. Some one labor right woman pay $750,000 for violation of the DRNA. And how little this government do, you know. It's not little this government do to we as a people. Even though this government parade in front of every camera and tell you how them success which cannot be quantified, mind you. Because to date, I haven't heard the Prime Minister or any labor rights quantify the successes of Andrew Holness that they're talking about. The Mungo tell you says the most successful Prime Minister. How though? Can you explain? You can't be just successful. There ought to be a reason why the Prime Minister is successful. Point to what the Prime Minister has achieved as to why you think he's such a successful person. So, me no know what I talk about. He has achieved so much. See that? Can you quantify what is so much? Stubborn, whatever thing you are. What is so much? Quantify so much. Are there some things, are there some successes of the Prime Minister that you can outline? It is what I'm looking for you to outline the successes of the Prime Minister. Is there no way you can quantify the success? Merely saying the Prime Minister is successful. I could say the dog successfully bites the cat, isn't it? The dog successfully bites the cat. Can you quantify the Prime Minister's success? Because I'm tired of hearing how successful he is without it being quantified. Low unemployment that he has done with heart. What he has done with heart. I don't know what he has done with heart, but let me address the low unemployment. There's a book called How to Lie with Statistics. Now, I'm telling you that the Prime Minister is lying with statistics because in the Prime Minister low unemployment rate, 750,000 working age Jamaicans are not taken in consideration in the survey. So that figure alone is a lie. Port Royal Water has improved. What does that mean? Port Royal Water has been improved. You think that's a success? Port Royal water have been improved. Improved how? And if it's been improved, how would that be a success? If it's what we elect them to do with water, with road, with lights, job creation. These are the things that we elect them to do. What makes a prime minister successful, as well as those things that we elect them to do, is prime minister put with their legislative competency, put legislative reform in place that will drive productivity, social mobility, the economy, and all that jazz. Can you name any of those? No, I'm not talking about the PNP, stubborn. I'm not talking about the PNP. I'm talking about the prime minister. I'm a futurist. I hold government to account, not previous government. Not previous government. I hold the current government to account. I don't want to hear about the PNP. You know RADA is a PNP galangin, isn't it? Stubborn. RADA, the same RADA with Flight Green go raid $54 million out of. Didn't the PNP have it for 18 years and did nothing about Port Royal water problem? I mean, Jamaica on a whole have a massive problem when it comes to both government and water irrigation and distribution. That's a fact. But under what I am observing, unity, that under this government, we have hastily become a black tank society. The government even distribute them and call them water at street corners and call them water shop. It's not achievement to make sure that what they promise us at election, they deliver on it. That's not success and that's not achievement. It's what we merely employ them to do. Otherwise, when we go to work and perform, we work at daytime, our manager can tell we that's an achievement. No, it's what they're elected to do. Look at St. Thomas, the road out there. The PNP want to make that a toll road. So the who make the one them with toll road now. I'm not talking about what the PNP want to do when they come in. I'm talking about the success of Andrew Holness. I mean, no, not talk about the entire, don't talk about no road galangin. Road in a Jamaica is, Andrew just declared them as a crisis with you. And he never declared one section of the country. National means the entire island. He gave St. Thomas Road. Well, St. Thomas has always have bad road. And a lot of these road where you hear not talk about Andrew Holness, a lot of these roads were in the pipeline before Andrew Holness came along. And him still come and short the money upon them. That's why they not do properly. That's why these so-called carpet fold up and end up in the nearby bushes. Is there any social policies that Andrew Holness has implemented that you can tell us of? Social policies that would benefit us after the criminal Andrew Holness has demitted politics and has died. Do you know of any? Because we can still talk about NHT from Michael Manley. What I'm trying to get at is, has Andrew put anything in place that will outlive Andrew Holness? Is what I'm trying to get to. Do you know of anything that you can point to me? Because the road so mash up, you know. If a road you come to me with the road so mash up, it now outlive Andrew. And when I go call Andrew name after the road mash up, is there anything, one thing that you can point to under the 9 years of the Andrew Holness regime that Andrew Holness had, and don't say the economy because he fall in a recession before he done with it. Don't, Debbie, may I use a big word, making go ask Google what I mean. Debbie, may I use the big word, make him go ask Google what I mean. Google talk these days, and it'll be like when you have to read Google. Google can talk to you. So don't talk about the road them. And don't talk about the economy we mash up on road pan the prime minister. Don't talk about things we mash up. Talk about things where you can continue to develop. Like the NHT, as you know here, Mark Golden said, I'm going to restructure it back to what it was meant to be, rather than Andrew Holness and Dexim and him friend them a thief out there and do what they want to do with it. What can you tell me is Andrew Holness' social intervention policy that will outlive the Prime Minister? I have been asking this question for weeks because every day you come here and you torment me and tell me say pigs can fly and monkey have umbrella walk with pan road. And up until now, one of you can tell me, what is it? What is it? One thing that Andrew Holness has implemented in the last 9 years that we, your children, when reading history, can look back and say, that, oh yes, that was the implementation of the thievingest prime minister we've ever had in our country. Can you name it? And tap waste my fucking time tonight if you can't name it. Can you name it? Because we have been waiting for it. Heart trust, Lord Jesus, my pussy clad Christ. Whoa, me bumbo. Heart trust. He said heart trust. Go on your bed. Go on. And if you're finding difficulty sleeping, take 2 shots of rum. If you have difficulty sleeping, take 2 shots of rum and go on your bed. That's why Andrew Holness telling us that him are the best baby father for thieving ideas. Go on your fucking bed tonight, you know. Go on your bed. Jesus. Whoa. Buster, go on your bed. Go on your bed. Because this is why they teach you to read picture, you know. A picture you got school go learn to read, you know. I went to Heart, my friend. I'm 50-year-old, and I went to Heart 30 odd years ago. It's nothing new and grandiose. Heart been giving us money for me and go Heart 30 odd years ago. Yes, I did clothing and textile there. And when Siaga changed it to Heart, it was the original training center. Where the same thing them what you learn there over time, different government and a few training or few academics to it. And I'm not new. A same thing when me and Andrew go when we are teenager. So I know oh you go talk about Andrew. Go on your bed. Go on your bed. Stubborn Academy. Go on your bed. Go on your bed. Because when you stop on road and play marble every day, and you say at school, we sit down in a class and we're there for hours. Just because we don't want to come out like Uno. And you at Tapan Road play marble. Turn up tonight or come tell me bullshit. Go on your bed, master. Go on your bed. Because you know make yourself look good. Buster did tell them, say me can't spell bread. B-R-E-D bread. Go on your bed. Look like it's you one that went to school. Of course, me one went to school. And me one did sit down in a class. That's why on the Prime Minister so dunce because he tap out a road and play marble. And the whole of us tap out there play marble with him. Just like how no in grab all of the marble them out of the ring. The same way my grab out of the country coffers at the moment. Stubborn academy. You shouldn't take off the academy and write bullshit, stubborn bullshit. That would have sounded a better name for your car. Be a bullshit you turn up attack tonight. When people ask you a question, when you can't answer it, when you go off on a tangent, PNP, this PNP, you say name Andrew Holness social policy. You talk about training center where exists before this moron ban. Or shortly after this moron ban. Me and Andrew Holness, I got a training center from then. Go on your bed. Go on your bed. And when you see the Prime Minister, tell him to tap take up people like a girl put in her lap and tap feel up like a people picnic. And that's what I'm going to talk to the Prime Minister about. Tell him to stop feel up people picnic. Me sing at school go do it. And me sing take up baby put in her lap today. And them something they don't feel concerned about. Don't do what? Don't do what? Have you got any proof that the Prime Minister isn't a pedophile? On the Prime Minister, are you sure the Prime Minister don't do it for personal gratification? What if I take up the Prime Minister's son and put in my lap? What do you think? What would you think of that stubborn academy? Because me ask. I don't give a fuck about defamation. This is like my mouth look like a title defamation. You'll be more successful telling me about a bullet than a defamation. If you don't think defamation can silence my big mouth, is the silliest person I talk to. Me not a sense when it come to them something there. Me not have sense when it come to them something there. The Prime Minister should know better that he should not put children on his lap. Because if I put the Prime Minister's son in my lap, the whole I know have a problem with it. The whole I know got thing because of sexual reason why I put the Prime Minister's son in my lap. So why can't it be because of sexual reason why the Prime Minister pick up people little girl and put in her lap? Why can't it be because the Prime Minister wants sexual gratification? That's why he put the picnic them baby in her lap. How do you know the Prime Minister isn't a pedophile? We live in a country where 9 and 11-year-olds are raped and murdered. And I want to think it's appropriate for the Prime Minister to hug up your daughter or to put your daughter in his lap. Do you walk around and pick up every man, daughter, and baby and put them in your lap, you bunch of pedophiles? Yes, as long as you put the child in your fucking lap, you play with the child, you fucking more. Lord Jesus, a night. Come back tomorrow morning. I want to rub you, but come back tomorrow morning. Yes, if you pick up somebody's child and put the child in your lap, it's fingering and fondling. It's molesting. Yes, that is what it is. It's not your child. It's not your child. So same way you would see Jovan Ellis pick up your 1-year-old with Jovan Ellis sexually abuse 1-year-old. You think it would be okay for Jovan Ellis to pick up your daughter and put in his lap, you fucking moron? Michelle, you can tell say you are one of them where turn out your daughter to man for money, you know. When you hear a woman come and turn up and defend pedophiles, you know say a people will bought and tender them daughters. Because a lot of you mothers in Jamaica do that. Barter and tender your daughters in order to suit your material greed. Anytime when you see no turn up, I defend certain things. You know exactly who you all are. Oh no. Oh no, we turn out on our children to pedophiles. Oh no, we turn out on our children to big man because big man a push money in our hand. That's the type of person you are, Michelle. Because if you can turn up here and defending the prime minister to pick up a baby put in him lap and don't think that's molestation, fingling, or fondling, then we could just go around and lift up just about anybody picking and putting our lap, isn't it? Or is it because it's a prime minister, it's okay for everybody's daughter to sit in his lap? When the Jamaican mothers and fathers, that's why some of the children them afraid of you. Because you see one sell them out and swap them out. There's no context to put in a child in your lap bullshit. Provide me the context to put a child in your lap. You're not the parents. You're not very close relative. What is the child doing in your lap? You're not the parents. You're not a close relative. What is the child doing in your lap, pedophile? Because anybody you say comfortable with people, children, and their lap, it's not appropriate in the world we live in, unless you can tell who is a pedophile or not, unless you can tell who is a child molester or not. Those rules are there to protect the children from those people who we cannot identify just by looking at them. That's why that preventative measure is there. So pedophiles don't get to pick up people, children, put it on their lap and have instant gratification from it. The rules are there to protect the child. That's why it's called safeguarding. You safeguard the child from a pedophile or a child molester or a sexual predator. Get into them, you piece of skunk. But a bullshit like uno woman will swap out on a daughter, normally, regularly turn up to defend these people who no swap out on a daughters too. All for economic gain, Michelle. All for economic gain when you're willing to hand on a daughter to these big men. Shameless piece of shit you are. To come over here and have no morals when it comes to child protection. You think everybody should go around and pick up little girls and put in their lap. You would happily pass your child over to Jovan Ellis, wouldn't you? Because you have no moral as a woman. You have no moral. If you have any moral, or if you are a mother, you would first look towards child protection. Children are raped. Children are murdered. I don't want anybody. Kelsey was seen live just a few hours before Jovan Ellis raped and murdered her, wasn't it? You reckless woman. You feckless woman. You careless mother. You feckless mother. You cursed womb. Anyway, thank you all for being here tonight on the Global Television Group. I have neighbors and I really don't want to go wild and cuckoo-doodle on you tonight. But I would hope some of you Jamaican big women and some of you big men can look into what we're saying. It's about protecting the child from what you and I cannot see, which is the intention of the predator or the pedophile or the murderer. Thank you and good night from Global TV.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation. Because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone and it break a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that they only sit aside and rob and cheat and not first the poor. Make up what I seen to make him a throw one stone and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make him a throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite part, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the day them can sell out Rasta and sell it out. I sell out Babylon. They give man show and stone and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man show and stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead and can sell out Rasta. I sell out. I sell out Babylon. Yes, stop on the Friday. You might show us stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black baby man throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big him and throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Big him and throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all.
You know, I like when the labor rights confirm that Andrew is gay. Because nothing I've spoken tonight, I've spoken about the Prime Minister's sexuality. I don't think, me the person I am, I don't think I would want to make an advancement on a lying thief and pedophile either. But them always find it possible to come over here, come say, become a one Andrew oldness while me I target him. Anyway, never mind that. Let me tell you about parenting with some of you. I may just tell you this before me go. When I was raising my son had friends. And one of the weekend he said he wants to sleep over at his friend's house. Now, I'm not used to those form of bullshit. So naturally, I told him, I would need to speak to the parent of your friend if you're going to sleep over at somebody's house, because I would only allow him to go to his mom's house to sleep. Then he reluctantly gave me the number, and I called his friend's mother. I asked his friend mother, what is your son's curfew time? Because my son wants to have a sleepover at your house. The mother told me, my son has no curfew time. All right. Me as the dunce now, me I go say, all right, me I go rephrase it one another way, because maybe when me say curfew, she think me I talk about the legal government curfew. So I said, what time does he come in at night? She said he has no time. He comes in when he wants. I said, okay, thank you. And under no circumstances, my son couldn't go to somebody's house to sleep where they would allow my son to be roaming the street at night when my son have an 11 o'clock curfew. And this is what some of you parents do. That's why you can turn up like you, Michelle, and Stubborn Academy to defend pedophilia or potential child molesters. You must learn to protect your children. It's not about who you adore or who you think is safe or who you think is upright and upstanding. That's not what you ought to be doing. Your job is to protect the child. Your job is to protect the child, not to gratify your prime minister. Thank you and good night from Global TV. Join us right back here tomorrow morning for your At a Glance program. And if you're new to Global TV, please give us a follow and a subscription. Thank you very much. Good night and goodbye.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.